Hey, what's going on? This is Derek Blue. I am your business strategist, and I want to talk to you about a movie. The movie is called Dolemite, starring Eddie Murphy, Mike Epps, uh, Keegan Michael Key, and a few other celebrities and A-list actors who joined in on the cast. And the story is about a man by the name of Rudy Ray Moore, and it shows his start, and it kind of shows how he rose to fame. And it showed a few things that I think that we should pay attention to because I believe that this movie can teach the entrepreneur something. And what I want to talk to you today about is 8 lessons that we can learn from Dolomite. When I say we, I mean entrepreneurs, I mean CEOs, I mean business owners and organizational leaders. And it's what we can learn from the movie Dolomite. Do me a quick favor and like this post, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, like and share if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook. And let's get into this. The very first lesson that Dolomite teaches the entrepreneur is this: start. Simply put, get started. 100% of the projects that you don't start won't succeed. And too many times we let fear paralyze us and stop us from moving forward. Uh, just beyond your fear could be the success that you're looking for. And I hate to sound like a cliche, but fear will stop you from being great. So the first thing that the movie teaches us is to start. Simple as that. Start. The next thing, lesson number two, is learn from the experts and re-event if and as necessary. The thing that I liked about this movie and the revelation that I gained from it is the fact that Rudy Ray Moore was almost like an opener. He was a club opener, and he wasn't really that funny to the audience. He was the one who the club owner would let get like 5 minutes to kind of warm the crowd up for the musical guest or the act that was coming. But Rudy had higher aspirations. He wanted to do more. So what he did was he underwent the process of reinvention. He met some homeless people who were very, very talented and they were gifted in the art of storytelling. And what he did was he sat there and he listened to them and he heard their cadences and he learned the way they would say different things. And then later he came back as a character by the name of Dolomite. And it was like night and day because he recognized that in order for him to be great, in order for him to exceed and to rise in the ranks, he needed to reinvent himself. The third point that I really, really want you to pay attention to is this. And so oftentimes we struggle with this as entrepreneurs, specifically if we're launching something new or we're trying to start a company or to start an organization. The first thing you have to do is be in love with your own product or service and try not to be your own worst critic. Too often, ideas that could be sustainable, ideas that could be great are often shot down before they even leave your mind and into reality. Fall in love with your own product or service. Listen, don't depend on people to love your business or to love your organization or your product or your service first. Love it enough. You love it enough to tell everybody how great it is. Because here's the thing, people will treat your business oftentimes the way that you treat it. Here's the next thing. And I talked about how Rudy Ray Moore, who later transitioned into a character, an alter ego by the name of Dolomite. Here's what you have to understand: know your audience and give them what they want. Then find your sweet spot and ride the wave. Here's what he did when he realized that when he came and transformed himself into Dolomite and he put on that pimp hat and those platform shoes and he had his swagger going and he was telling these riddles and they were rhyming and people began to laugh at that. And one scene, he kind of looked around like, hey, they really like this thing. And what he did was he rode the wave until he couldn't ride it anymore. So you have to know your audience, give them what they want, give them what they want, and then find your sweet spot and ride the wave. Number five, very important. Do what you have to do until you don't have to anymore. Now, there's a fine line between, especially for founders and CEOs, and when you start your own company, you have to do a lot of things when you're just starting off because you don't have the budget to hire all of these people. You don't have the budget to bring on all of the staff that you might. So you might find yourself being the web designer. You might find yourself being the accountant. You might find yourself doing things that you would normally have another person to do. So then what you do is you do what you have to do until you don't have to do it anymore. So understand nothing starts perfect, but concepts are perfected along the way. So don't be so in love with perfection to where you don't get started, to where you don't do what you have to do. You don't have $1 million budget yet. Don't try to be big when little still got you. Number six, find passion partners and let them help you. And when I say passion partners, I mean people who are in love with what you do. They believe in you. And it doesn't mean that you bring people who just have a whole bunch of passion and put them into critical positions within your company. No, you don't do that. But here's what you do, you let them do something. Find passion partners and let them help you because they will. Let them do something. Rudy had a bunch of people who just loved him. He had people who supported him and they would push him forward. And you use the people who are passion partners and let them help you. Number seven, very important, celebrate progress, even small progress. When you have small victories, celebrate. Whenever you have very small victories, you celebrate. You might have made $1,000 last month, and this month you made 2,000. Whatever it is, you might have had 10 followers this month, and then by next week you have 12 followers. Celebrate that, even if it's small, because I believe that momentum begins to build in the hearts of thankful people, and you'll begin to see things happening that you never thought would have happened as you celebrate small progress. There's something about having a positive mind that helps move businesses forward. The eighth and final, conquer the block before attempting to conquer the world. Listen, I'm in no way trying to tell you to limit your vision and not to shoot for the stars. But here's what I want to tell you: make sure the people in your city know who you are before you try to shoot out to the world. Because here's what I learned is that when your block knows who you are, they'll support you, and then your influence will grow to your city. And when your city knows who you are, they'll support you, and your influence will grow to the state. And then you go to the nation, and then you go to the world. So conquer the block before attempting to conquer the world. And when we see Dolemite, yes, he was ridiculed. Yes, he was talked about. People didn't believe in him, but he stayed focused. People got a lot of good comedy out of his progress. But at the end of the day, there was a movie on Netflix made about him. Who's going to make a movie about your story? Who's going to admire your journey? Look, do it on purpose. These are 8 lessons that we learned from Dolomite that can apply to your business. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I hope this was helpful to you. I've been Derek Blue. Visit me at www.derekblue.com. God bless.